Good morning and welcome to Angela's Busy Bees Garden and Homestead. And guys, today I'm out in my fenced-in garden area and I will be harvesting everything that I can today, and also just giving you a tour of what I have growing in this area of my garden. And of course, every morning I have to come out and harvest okra, or I will harvest tomatoes that are blushing and bring them inside to continue to ripen. And as you can see in this basket, I have okra, a couple of field peas, one banana pepper here, a few serrano chili peppers, a couple of cayenne peppers, and also a couple of beets. And these were harvested this morning from the market garden. And so now I'm in this garden and I will be harvesting what I can from here. The very first thing I want to show you is over here. This is my strawberry bed, and I've also added one cantaloupe plant in here just to see what it'll do. And I'm thinking about maybe moving all of the strawberries out of here in the fall and place them in containers as opposed to this raised bed, and use this bed for something else. And right over here, guys, this is my Texas store hibiscus that I received from Lady Cheryl of Cheryl's Organic Food Forest. And as you can see, I have about 4 that are budding here at the top. And I'm not sure about these down here, but they're getting quite thick. So there may possibly be some bulbs about to come on here as well. But this is my Texas store hibiscus, and I planted this one in its first year in a pot, and hopefully in a couple of years I'll be able to transfer it to the ground. But in this garden area I have mostly peppers. Over here, this is all cayenne pepper, and one of them, which I thought was a cayenne pepper, appears to be a banana pepper, as you can see here. And I have a few ripe cayenne peppers on here that I'm going to get this morning, and a few on that back plant. And these cayenne peppers, they really grow very slowly. Here's another one here that looks ripe. So I think going forward next year, I'll probably start peppers like in late January, because they take forever to grow, and these have been planted since about March or April of this year, and this is the height that they are in August. This is a pepper that I guess did not get enough water, so I'm just going to pull the fruit off of it and continue to water. If it comes back, fine. If it doesn't, oh well. Over here I have more peppers in containers. These are bell peppers, the orange, the red. Here's a yellow bell pepper. Hasn't turned yellow just yet. Over here in this growing bag, I have some strike bush beans, and these are volunteer. What are these called? It's called cock's head or cockscrow. I'll think of the name later, but these were volunteers. Cock's comb is what they're called, cock's comb. And they were volunteers that came up on their own. I had coxcomb in this planter last year, but of course the seeds must have dropped over here, and they returned on their own. Also in this area I have several tomato plants. Here's some celery that's trying to hold on, and one celery here trying to hold on. I've had tomatoes in here. They're not doing well. I need to pull them out, but some basil. I'm going to harvest some basil here and here. I have more tomatoes coming on here, here, here. And so once I see that they start blushing, that's when I go on and harvest them and allow them to finish ripening in the kitchen. Over here, guys, are more peppers. As you can see, raspberries, I've cut them back and they are coming up everywhere, so I'm going to count it as a blessing. Wherever they are coming up, I'm going to dig them up, pot them, and hopefully sell them at the farmer's market. And as you can see, there's some popping up here. Here's another one popping up here. They are very invasive, I tell you. So here's the actual raspberry bush that I planted here. But they are coming up everywhere in different places. There's one coming up here, another one there, and as you can see, here's another one here, so, and here, and it just continues on and on. One back there as well. So they will all be potted up and sold next year at the farmer's market. But over here in this raised bed are more peppers. I have some onions in here that the tops have died back. And I will be harvesting all of those that have died back to allow them to cure. More bell peppers here. Now this particular plant, I don't know what's going on with it, but it seems not to be thriving. And so it's being watered just as all the others in this bed. But for some reason, this one is dying back. So I'm going to fertilize it and see if anything will happen. If not, of course, there are more than enough bell peppers in this bed. I also have a few eggplants, but they're not ready for harvesting just yet. I noticed that this bell pepper here is getting the blossom end rot. So I will be giving it a little 511 and some Epsom salt. And as you can see here, I have lots of bell peppers coming on here. And if I can show you the eggplant here, it needs to be staked up, but here's the eggplant that's coming. The grapes are ready, and my garden girl Ava, she's helping me to harvest grapes this morning. You want to say hello, Ava?
Hi.
She's harvesting grapes, and she'll show you what she's been able to collect once she's done getting as many as she can. I have one tomato here that is almost ripe. So I'll take it. Again, more bell peppers in here. And I have a few that are ready for harvesting. I see a red one here. I'll get my scissors and get it later. And I have a few eggplants here as well coming along, as you can see. I have some cucumber also in this raised bed, and as you can see here, it is just now attaching itself to this trellis. I have more peppers and eggplant in this bed as well, and this is a volunteer cucumber plant, and as you see, it is putting on a little baby cucumber. So it's a volunteer from last year. As you can see, more peppers are ready. And once after I give you all the tour, I'm going to go back and harvest what I can and then share with you what I have been able to harvest. But Ava, looked like one of the bell peppers here fell. You see this bell pepper on the ground, the yellow one? The one on the ground. Okay, give it to me if you can. It probably fell over when we had that storm, but this is a bell pepper. And here I have jalapeno peppers. And so they're coming on, as you can see. going to get a little bit of this kale because I love to have kale in my omelets for breakfast. Here's a pepper plant. There were also tomatoes in here, but as you can see, they've died back. More tomatoes here, and some purple basil. This is my lemon balm. It started to die back from the heat, but looked like it's trying to come back. And in here I have my blueberries as well. Here's another lemon balm. More blueberries. This was my peppermint, and it has died back, but I'm hoping that it will come back. This is very hard to kill mint, but I'll see what it'll do. And in the back here I have spearmint, and as you can see, my blackberries are going crazy, and they are growing everywhere, and wherever it touched down on the ground, that's where it will root. But what I will be doing is taking all of this new growth, and the one that is closest to the ground, I'll simply stick it inside a pot of soil, and it will propagate, and then I can eventually cut it off and as well take it to the market. But this is what the blackberry bush is doing at this time. So all of the vines that produce fruit this year are going to die back, and all the new growth is where there will be new berries for next year. In this bed I have my herbs. I have rosemary, sage, oregano, onion chives, lavender, black-eyed Susans, and some coneflowers. But this bed I need to come in and do a great harvest on these herbs and look at the space to see if something can be taken out because it's quite crowded in this space. I'm going to harvest some of this Swiss chard this morning, and I have Habanero Peppers in this container. This one was looking like it was going to die, but then I started noticing more leaf development, so I'm going to leave it in to see what it's going to do. But these are Habanero Peppers, and these were the peppers that I received free from Cook's garden. And as you can see here, this Habanero pepper is doing really well. Here is a Cherry 100 that I transplanted recently, and I have a few more peppers in here, and look like there's some mustard greens that came up also in this bed because I had mustard greens in here previously. And so here I have some thyme, sage, some parsley that's dying, also going to seed and dying back, but this is a bed of lima beans. More sage in that container there. I have a tomato that looks like it's dying back, but I've started more tomato seeds, so I'm hoping that once it gets a little cooler, I'll be able to transplant my tomatoes to see if I can get anything from them before our first frost. Over here I have more peppers in containers. These are bell peppers. More bell peppers here. Strawberries in this crate. And then this one, the one in the back died. But as I've stated, I'm going to be moving these strawberries, so I'll probably put one or two in this back crate here. And here are a few tomatoes in buckets. And I've got one or two tomatoes. As I've stated, they've all been affected by the heat. And I don't want to pull it too prematurely, just in case it's able to bounce back. But this is my fenced-in garden area. And as you can see, I've got lots of tomatoes and peppers and berries, grapes. Over here on this side, I have my table grape. I think these are the Concord grapes, and they are beginning to ripen one by one, as you see here. This one is ripe, and they are so sweet, very sweet. And they're all over this vine on both this side of the fence and the other. So I'm going to get to harvesting with Ava, and I'll come back and share with you what I have been able to harvest for the day. Okay? And guys, this is my harvest for the day. And as you can see, I have some Swiss chard here. I have some onions that I have not washed off because I'm going to place them outside under my patio area to cure before I bring them inside. And here is a beautiful, healthy harvest of Muscadine grapes. And we really didn't get all of them. There's so many more on the vine. It's just that it's getting a little hot outside, so we will be harvesting probably for about a week until we can get as much as we can. Over here, guys, I have an assortment of peppers: cayenne, jalapeno, habanero, banana pepper, and serrano chili peppers. Here is a daily harvest of okra, a few field peas there in the back, and an assortment of tomatoes, a couple of the cherry 100s, a few mortgage lifters, money makers, and one or two Romas I think are in there as well. Over here I have my bell peppers, as you can see, and I have my kale and a few beets that you see here. And I can't wait to put them in my juicer to blend with some other vegetables. And guys, as I look around, I've been harvesting a lot of peppers, and I'm thinking that maybe next year I may not need to plant bell peppers. And then also when I look at the fact that I have a lot of peppers, both bell peppers and hot peppers in containers, that I can overwinter them. So I may not plant peppers next year unless I feel the need to plant peppers in the market garden. But if I am able to put up enough peppers between now and winter, plus the ones that I'll bring in, they may continue to bear peppers over winter if I'm able to put them in the greenhouse. So that could save some room in my garden for me to be able to grow some other things if I don't have to grow peppers. But I want to thank you so much for joining me today as we provided you with a tour of the fenced-in garden area, and also to show you what we were going to be harvesting for the day. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, if you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future videos. God bless.
Bye.
Bye-bye.